Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, and I'm here with Aroo,
How's it going?
who pretty cool guy. You know, I got to meet him in person finally, and you know, he's about what I thought he was gonna be.
I don't know what you mean by that, but I take that as a compliment.
He was a pretty chill guy. It was pretty cool for the little bits I got to hang out with him. So you know, I wanted to do a podcast before I went. But everyone was kind of like busy for obvious reasons. They got shit going on. So it was nice to finally get a hold of someone afterwards. And luckily enough, I got Aroo, who I've been wanting to talk to for a while, kind of one-on-one, because I don't really know much about him, you know, outside of like when 7 came out. But you know, Aroo's probably been playing for a little bit before that, and you know, that's why I kind of brought him on here. So Aroo, you know, where did you, I mean, where did you start? Like, obviously you've been in the FGC for a little bit now. So
Yeah,
where did you start?
So, yeah, I mean, like, everybody knows me, I think, from Samurai Shodown 7, which is kind of where I got my big break, I guess. But I've been playing since KOF 13, and that was, I didn't play, like, at the release of it. I got into it kind of, like, after the scene had already sort of died down for it. And this was back in Chicago. I used to live in Chicago. So that was probably back in, like, 2014 or something. Let me check when 13.
13, damn.
Yeah, it was probably back in, like, 2014 or so. So back then I was still, like, you know, really new to fighting games. I'd been kind of watching them for a while before I'd, like, gone out to my first local and stuff. But I don't really consider myself being part of the FGC until I had actually gone out to my first local. So that's when it happened. I met a really good group of people there that helped me learn how to play, to some degree, how to play KOF 13. I was never that good at it, but you know, I knew my way around the game. And then
that was your first, like, I'm trying to get good, right? That was your first. Yeah. I'm trying to get. It's obviously everyone's first I'm trying to get good game is never really like their game where
that's true.
They come out and kind of just build yourself a little bit. Because I mean, I like 4. Like, to me, I was sticking around with all kinds of fighting games, but then 4 came out, and that was my, hey, I'm gonna get good. But I was never like, this guy's insane. Like, I had to like suffer and like grind, and then I got good at the next thing. So I don't know,
yeah, that's kind of what happened. I think that's probably like you said, what happens with most people, where like they're not really good immediately, and they just they stick with it, and eventually they take enough licks and they get better at another game down the line. And that one happened to be KOF 14 for me. I got a lot better in KOF 14 as a player. I made like a top 8 when the game first came out at ECT. This was, I think, I forget, whatever year KOF 14 came out, I made top 8 there. And that was like my first foray into like the New York scene, because I had just recently moved to New York before 14 came out. So that's how people came to know me here. And basically the rest is history as far as that goes.
So you've only been in New York for like 5 years?
Yeah, something like 5 years.
So were you in Chicago for like the rest of your life prior?
Yeah, most of my life prior, I've been in Chicago. There were brief stints in Indiana and in Boston, but I don't really consider myself as being from there. I was actually born in South Carolina, but again, I was only there for a little bit. And I don't remember.
So you're actually from the South.
I am actually from the South.
Who would have known?
Yeah, nobody would have guessed, I think.
Damn, South Carolina? Damn.
Yeah, right.
Like
my dad was going to school there at the time, so that's what happened.
Man, that's crazy. You're right. I would have never thought like South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely look, sound, smell like a Yankee. So.
I mean, you didn't bathe in the southern swamps long enough to like
hold not that at shit. All.
So like, it's crazy. So Chicago to New York. I mean, honestly, the scene in Chicago isn't like lacking or anything. So like, you've had opportunities in both places to like, you know, anchor down and have a scene and enjoy yourself. That's pretty nice.
You know, I'm very thankful, I think, for the Chicago FGC. I didn't get that involved in like the FGC proper. I mostly just hung out with like the KOF guys there, which was just a small group of like 4 or 5 guys. It was only once I got here that I started like really branching out and getting to know all the different FGC people from different games and stuff, it's been a real treat to get to know a lot of people here.
That's crazy. It's I don't know, what a wild ride.
It really has been. I think, I mean, I've got a lot to thank my various mentors in Chicago and here in New York as well. Never would have gotten, any modicum of success without them. It's been pretty interesting, to say the least, especially this past 2019 in particular is a very big year.
Have you just like always been an SNK guy?
Yeah. So ever since I was a kid, I went to Korea with my family, and my cousin, he had like an emulator on his computer, and he was showing me all these different games. He showed me like Metal Slug, Fatal Fury, KOF, and like I thought Iori was like the coolest motherfucker even back then, as like a little kid. So that was kind of like where I got exposed to SNK and like aware of its existence, because when I was growing up, I didn't really have an arcade scene or anything. I never really went out to any arcades or anything like that, so I wouldn't have been able to know about SNK otherwise. So that was really like lucky, I think, for me as a kid.
No, honestly, it's like I always had the opportunity to like get into SNK stuff, but it just always seems like, it's just like it's whatever your parents got you for me. So they just never got me SNK. My dad was Mexican and he never gave me SNK.
Well, yo, bro, you got to remember back then, SNK shit was mad expensive because they were like the Neo Geo home console shit was like fucking prohibitively expensive. Only the bougie ass kids had that shit.
I completely forgot about that. Honestly, actually my first SNK experience, like truly, was Capcom versus SNK 2. And my friend had a PlayStation 2. And then when I started playing Capcom versus SNK 2 with him, then he was like, I got these SNK games. And he showed me like King of Fighters like 2003 and 2002.
Oh, word? That's tight.
Yeah, I was like, this is dope. And then I played it. I'm like, why do these characters look like this? They don't look anything like this in CVS 2.
Word, yeah.
And I found out like, how the Neo Geo console was and like how they designed their characters. I ended up really liking their characters. I just played with whatever my friend wanted to play. And he was a third strike. He was a third strike guy. So I just ended up sticking with third strike. We were trash, obviously. We're just whatever.
Yeah, of course.
But for the trash that we were, third strike was the fun game. So that's what we ended up doing. It's fucked up too because I was an ST, like I loved ST more, but he was like, this game looks old, let's not play that. I'm like,
damn.
But like SNK, I never really had any experience with SNK. It's kind of like, it's almost like you were like, my real like first experience was like 13 and it didn't stick because online play was just,
oh god, yeah, it was unplayable, man.
It was terrible.
Even worse than what we got right now.
So I kind of backed off of that.
Yeah, I think that's the story with most people. Most people in the United States, they don't really have like the roots with SNK, so that's part of why I think there's so few like young people getting into the scene, and like we just don't have very many people interested in SNK titles, which is a shame. So I've been trying really hard to like keep the conversation going about different SNK games like on Twitter and stuff. Ever since I became like a little bit more well known within the community, I've been like talking more and more about SNK games, being like, yo, these games are fucking cool, trying to get people to play them and shit. So
I feel that because now it's my turn.
Yeah, definitely. And you've been doing a really good job, by the way. I don't know if I've like told you this personally, but I'm going to take this opportunity now to let you know that I've been keeping an eye on your shit and it's been really fucking good. So
thanks. I feel like I've been lazy lately. Now that I have like this problem where if I don't keep doing the same thing, I feel lazy. And so like I haven't done any more tutorials since then, so I didn't feel like shit. But
I guess, but like you also gotta make sure you don't burn out, you know?
Yeah, I have that problem. I'm one of those guys that like I have stints of like what's the word I'm looking for? I have stints of inspiration. So I try to work as hard as I can while I have it, because I know it's gonna be gone. So I try to hammer out those tutorials like as fast as I could.
I feel you.
But more about you. So like, it's really cool. Your background's like pretty cool. You and Andy both have I think everyone probably has a very nice little background. Andy's was pretty interesting too. His is like not even, it's not that he played SNK games, but like, you know, he's like, you know, I played Marvel 1 growing up. That's what got me like, I'm like, Marvel 1? And you ended up
surprising.
But like,
that's crazy. He's actually got footsies, but yeah. Marvel player, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. It was nuts. But yeah, so like, okay, actually what's curious is like, so you're telling me like, you know, you played 13 and then you cut your teeth on 13, then 14 came out and you were like, okay, I'm kind of okay now. And then now, okay, so when I first saw you, it was because you know, 7 was announced and, you know, everyone's kind of like, see, because no one knows what the fuck Samurai Shodown is really. Yeah, like only people that are like, you know, older players that are either the people who like SNK games or just old school players know what it is. But if you never really cared for SNK or you weren't playing actively back in the day, Samurai Shodown, like I've really only seen it once and I didn't even I had no idea what it was when I saw it. So I'm like, let me find some tournament footage of this fucking game so I know what I'm getting into, and you were the first thing I saw. So like, I typed in 5 special and I was like, oh, Aroo versus Dino. I'm like, okay,
that one, that one got a lot of views for some reason. It's YouTube algorithms.
Yeah, no, that's how that, like that, the algorithm, I think the timing of you playing was in exactly the right time for when people were
dude, I look back and I think at like kind of like my rise, I guess you could call it, and it's like all the fucking stars aligned perfectly in like so many crazy ways for me to like become more like well known within the community. So like I got really fucking lucky.
Your timing was perfect. Like you have no idea, man. Like just that match was exactly what I needed, right? So like I think me and a lot of people probably saw it and was like, okay, we have to examine what this game looks like. So obviously it multiplies the views, and since it multiplies the views, it shows the algorithm more, right? So exactly. So you were just exactly where you needed to be, right where it needed to be for people to see that you knew how to play and knew how to play good. So it was perfect. Everything was perfect for that. So
yeah, that's funny. It's funny that you would consider that good, because like I go back and I look at that footage and it's like we were still pretty much still learning how to play at the time, and we were still really bad. So I look back and I kind of cringe at it.
You have to understand that like the other footage that we have is from like Mikado in 2003. So
true, yeah.
So fighting game players have evolved since then, obviously. So like even if your gameplay was mediocre, it was still better than anything we saw from 2003. Okay. So to us, it was like, oh, well, these guys, just the fact that you knew what you were supposed to do with your character, at least a little bit, was enough. Because what the fuck do we know? We're new, right? We don't know what the hell these guys are supposed to do. You already knew what your character was supposed to do at the very least. So that was perfect for us. Like everybody was probably just like, oh shit, this guy knows what he's doing. So I actually what made you like start playing 5 special? Was it 7 being announced?
Yeah, actually, that's really what it was. Is 7. Like I've messed around with Samurai Shodown 5 special like a tiny bit before, but it wasn't anything that like substantial. And then once 7 was announced, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this shit a shot. And I ended up really liking 5 special. I got to play it a lot more at locals, and luckily, a lot of people in the New York community took to the game, so I had plenty of people to play. I fucking cracked out on the game, like online. I played on Fightcade. I played so much when I was getting into it, and I learned how to play pretty quickly. And I turned some heads. Like even some of the OGs were like, "Oh, this guy, he's got some potential." So I was like, "Okay, sick. That feels pretty good. I'm gonna keep playing this shit." And I just kept playing. And when 7 started like being demoed and stuff, I'd been playing 5 special for like a couple months and stuff, and I was like, okay, I don't know of any other people in the Sam Show Discord that are going to PAX East to try this new shit out, so I guess I'll just go. Last minute, I decided that I would just go and pick up tickets from a scalper and go in there and try out the game, so that we would have like a man on the inside kind of trying shit out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I got to test out the game there a little bit. I went through the line I don't know how many times. The guys working at the booth, they knew me, and I probably played the most out of anybody at PAX East that week.
I mean, obviously that opportunity just to see what the game was is pretty important, because everyone was kind of like, you're coming back with like secret intel.
Yeah, I mean, basically. So that was pretty cool. I typed out like a little kind of like a document about like what I found while I was there, and that got circulated pretty heavily as well. Which again, like the stars aligning once again to like make me being like well known as being like a Sam Show player, even though I mean I didn't really consider myself that, but that's just kind of what people saw. So
I mean, that's what I saw. I thought you were just the Sam Show guy, because obviously I see you grand finals and the only footage of this fucking game, and then I see you getting info. So that to me, all it does is make me think, well, this guy, he's in there, so obviously he's the guy. So that's how he has to be the guy.
I have everybody tricked, dude. Don't publish this interview, man. Let everybody believe. Nah, but like I was really just an SNK fan, more a KOF fan than anything. That was just trying to like figure out this new game, and again, kind of like bring publicity to this series that was being worked on by this company that I really like. It wasn't really anything to do with like how much I did like 5 Special a lot. Don't get me wrong, but I was still relatively new to it, so.
So you hadn't cemented your love for that game quite yet all the way. So you were just like, I like Samurai Shodown, so I'm gonna go see what the new one is, and we'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. See, this is interesting. This is exactly why I wanted to do this, because for the longest time, I just assumed you were just a 5 Special guy, right? I had no idea KOF any of this. So so this is important. This is like the lore.
Yeah.
So honestly, I know. So this is obviously this is my podcast, and we can say whatever you want. So like, I have to ask, like, I feel the same way, because I've been in your shoes, where like I played Street Fighter 4. And then 5 came out, and it just wasn't what it was to me, but I still played it anyway, just, because I still like the characters and all the stuff. I know you like 5 Special a lot, and I know you don't like agree with everything about 7. So honestly, my question to you is, what makes 5 Special more appealing to you than 7, aside from the obvious rollback netcode that we have?
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's a good question. That's a really great question, actually. So, I mean, just off the top of my head, I haven't really put like too much thought into this. Actually, who the fuck am I kidding? I've probably thought about this a lot. So, off the top of my head, Isen in Sam Show 7 is pretty degenerate. At least when you compare it to 5 Special. I understand, you can't play around it. There's strategy involved, and blah blah blah.
Look,
I fucking know. All right.
I don't think anyone that plays this game enjoys Isen. Like, let's be real. No one in this game likes the part where you just get 80% just on a guess. Obviously no one likes that. So you're not like, you saying that is not outlandish at all.
Right. So I think that's probably the biggest thing in 7 that I'm kind of like, I would not object at all to this getting changed. But that's just how it is. But anyways, in 5 Special, the way it worked is you had to meditate away your rage to be able to basically improve your damage on Isen. And Isen wasn't invincible in 5 SP. It worked a little bit differently. You would like activate a mode called State of Nothingness, which would slow everything down for the opponent, not for you. So you had a chance to like mix people up, or if they were like in the middle of pressing a button or something, you could like punish it in different ways, or all sorts of crazy situations could happen. And I thought that was really fun and interesting. And the length of time that they would be slowed down was based on the amount of meter that you meditated away, which I thought was a really I guess elegant resource management decision that you had to make. And of course that's also matchup dependent, character dependent. So I don't know. I really enjoy that part of 5SP where the resource management is a lot more intricate than in 7. SSM.
Well, you just I feel like I can. I don't play 5 Special, but when I watch it, I want to play 5 Special. I just haven't had time because this is hard to juggle all these things.
Yeah, man, I feel you, man.
But when I watch 5 Special, I just really like when y'all are in neutral and y'all just pick the spots to meditate, because you're trying to play footsies while also managing this resource. So it looks more engaging than knowing you're just gonna enter rage burst eventually. So
Word, yeah.
It looks more fun to have this secondary mechanic that you manage. But obviously the goal with this new game was to, make things a little simpler. So they probably took that out for the sake of that. But I like watching it. So the thing you like, I can see why you like it. Sometimes I just like little nuances like that to separate players, because it makes the gameplay between characters more nuanced, and certain players can develop certain strategies that maybe other players don't want to use, but they have their own things going on.
And it was cool because it would leave you open. So if somebody had a read on when you would want to meditate, they could just go in and go for a huge fucking attack unexpectedly.
Oh, yeah. And
little things like.
In that game, you have the sword gauge, right? So if you meditate and you eat that heavy, oh man, that's bad.
Yeah, that shit hurts.
Yeah, that shit hurts like crazy. Damn, that hurts. Sleep in that game was devastating. But I agree. I can understand why you would like that. But I didn't mean to cut you off. So go ahead and continue.
Oh yeah, no problem. I think SSM is kind of whatever. I think it's pretty boring in 7. It is what it is, and it's fair, so there's not much to say about it, but I just think it's a little bit boring as far as a resource goes and what it does.
It's just a you fucked up tool. That's really all it is. You did this, I'm gonna kill you.
Or a big read thing.
Or some super big brain galaxy shit.
But another thing is that there's a couple of mechanics that kind of make the game a little bit more nuanced, I guess, is the pursuits in 5SP. First of all, the game's balanced around having the pursuit damage, so different things that they didn't, and different character tools would get you would guarantee you certain pursuits, right? And that would tack on additional damage to whatever hit that you landed. And those tools remain mostly the same in 7, except they don't have the pursuit damage added, since obviously pursuit isn't present in 7. So I feel it kind of skews the risk reward of these moves a little bit in ways that are generally
Genjo's card, right? To me, the biggest one is Genjo's card, right? Because
Genjo card for sure.
Base's biggest complaint is that people can just jump into the sim bitch and be fine. And I just think about 5 Special, where if you jump into card, that's just a free pursuit every time.
Yeah, man, you're eating a heavy pursuit for sure. And there's other stuff like that too, where Haomaru, his fireball, it barely does any damage anymore. It's mostly I don't know.
It's just an annoyance tool.
Yeah, it's an annoyance. Exactly. That's the perfect way to put it. A lot of the sweeps in 5 or in 7 aren't very threatening because they do shit for damage. So that kind of makes the close range game a little bit, I don't know, easier, I guess. And also the way that the throws function in 7, it changes the game in a way where a lot of the game becomes about playing around the throw more so than it is in 5SP, because that is of course a big factor in 5SP. Since there is no throw teching, you have to play around throws, but you could do it in different ways that are, I think, more exciting because of the I guess the different movement mechanics that they have that are tied to the D button in that game.
Well, you also weren't gonna get disarmed from a throw.
That too. Yeah, that's another thing, is it was always a set amount of damage. So that was I like that a lot. And in 7, it's widely varied Like your boy Tam, he like barely gets anything from a throw unless he has rage.
Yeah, and then Jubei murders you.
Word, yeah, it's crazy. So like, I don't know. Again, that's just the game that we play. I've come to terms with everything about 7. Don't get me wrong. I just, I love 5SP. That game has a special place in my heart. I even like it more than some of the KOF titles that I used to love so much before. I still love them, but 5SP is like so good in my opinion that it's like it's way up there for me. I think it's a really beautiful game.
I feel like it didn't get a just run as a competitive game, mainly because it's older. So now with what we know now and with the amount of characters they have, I feel like it'd be a really diverse and really interesting game to watch at a high level.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree, man. So that's another thing. I'm going to be going to Japan later this year. They're doing this thing called Samurai Taisen. They do it every year. And then they just run tournaments at Mikado for every Samurai Shodown game. And I'm going to go and focus on competing in 5SP. So hopefully I do well. I really want to do well.
I mean, you look like you knew what you were doing when you were at Evo, when you were playing.
Oh yeah, I definitely do. It's just I'm not sure how I stack up. I couldn't even finish that tournament because I had to report to my commentary block. Yeah, so that was unfortunate. But
I mean, I'm rooting for you. I want to play. I actually really want to play because obviously.
Yeah, man. If you ever want to sit down and play, just let me know. I'm always sitting around in that Discord that we're both in. So just
I mean, I just need to take the time to pick a character to play because that game, honestly, I should just play Tam Tam because that version of Tam Tam I enjoy way more than the fucking 7 version. Well, because
he's so much better in 7 though.
He's better than 7, but I like throwing with the command throw.
Okay. You like the fucking command grab.
Yeah, that's what I like. Well, he's better in 7, but believe it or not, the way I play anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay. Because I already don't move or like do risky business. So I rather just play the same way, but in 5 special, my heavies hurt like fucking
they
crazy.
actually do damage. Yeah.
So like to me, playing lane for like every sweep I land in 7, it would have been like a quarter of someone's life.
You're right.
Fucking 5 special, and then in 7, there's a lot of times where I feel like I have to run up throw or do some dumb risky nonsense, or people could just turtle me. In that game, you really can't sit for too long because the Tam Tam command throw from half screen's gonna come down. So, but he is noticeably worse. I mean, I can tell when I have to run forward how slow.
Yeah.
He is.
God. Yeah. His movement is fucking god awful.
It's terrible. Like I'm really like super slow. But I just gotta figure out who I want to play. This the reason why it's so hard is because everyone in that game is so interesting. Actually, I think Sam Show in general, I have this problem because everyone in Samurai Shodown has interesting character design. I agree. I just can't it's really hard for me to settle on anyone at this point. I have a bad habit. I mean, obviously you've seen me play before, but I've only I just have a very broad knowledge of the game because everyone's so interesting. I've tried them all at some point. Mm-hmm. So that's how come I know how to do everything. But in other games, I have a hard time finding one. But in this game, I'm like, whoa, buddy, relax. You have to get good at somebody, or else you're gonna fall behind. But
totally.
But 5 special, for sure, I had the same problem. There's so many interesting characters. I mean, honestly, when I played you that one time, I was tilted because I was losing. But every time you picked a character and you showed me what they could do, I'm like, what the fuck this is crazy. This character is super cool. Like when you play Amakusa, I was like, this character's cool.
Yeah, I feel like you might like him if you sitting there and pressing buttons without moving. He's pretty good at.
Yeah, you convinced me that he could be an annoying piece of shit.
That's the thing. I think in 5SP, the characters are very, very unique. More so even than in 7. In 7, they did a pretty good job too, but a lot of characters feel pretty samey just because of the way the throws function in that game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but in 5SP, everybody's super unique and they have very different game plans and different outs. How they win. I think that's really, compelling in a video.
I hope maybe I don't know, once I settle down more on what I'm trying to focus on, I'll try to do more 5 special stuff, and maybe we can promote it to get big enough to to have it on the side.
Oh yeah, Yeah, man, I'm trying to like promote the shit out of this game because I fucking love it, and I think people would love it if they gave it, like an honest chance. So
it has an advantage here to me, honestly, in the
fact that it's a netcode, man.
Yeah, the rollback is an insane advantage.
Hell yeah.
If this game, I can't remember if Garo got a spectator mode. Did he get a spectator?
No, not yet.
Okay, so it has the same problem then. Because I remember Code Mystic saying they didn't want to add a spectator mode because it would affect the input delay or whatever. Which obviously I would prefer a company to be concerned about that, so over than just ignoring the issue of having problems with the netcode. I would still prefer them to figure it out though, for the obvious reason is that if we get a proper replay mode or like a proper spectator mode, then we can host like online events and it wouldn't even be a problem because then because you could obviously connect to anyone unless they're like in fucking the Philippines or some shit. But you could play across all Europe to here with no issue at all. Yeah,
it's pretty great.
Yeah, so hopefully they add a spectator mode. I'll still figure it out. I'll figure something out.
Yeah,
maybe we can do something.
I would not be surprised, let's put it that way, if they put spectator mode and lobbies into 5SP and perhaps other SNK games in the future. I would not be surprised.
That would be dope. If they do it, I'm on board. Like if they do it, expect a 5 special variant out of me for like first tens and shit.
Dude, I'm totally gonna stream the shit out of 5SP more if I can actually host lobbies and stuff. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, same. Because I'm just trying to build my at this point in my fighting game, like obviously I've been playing for a long time. At this point, I'm more about working my mental game than I am everything else. So just playing 5 special is enough for me to build myself as a player. So
we had that conversation a little bit in Twitter.
Yeah, like I don't feel like I can still play 7 and then learn my matchups and focus on my matchups. Yep. And then I can just play on the side. But if I want to play regularly just to keep my mind sharp, I don't mind playing 5 special and just having like a functional online.
Yeah, because it's not fucking frustrating to play. Yeah, you're playing the same game that you would play offline online.
Yeah, I feel like I get way more out of playing correctly than trying to guess constantly online because I can't react to shit.
Oh my god, that shit's the worst.
I hate it, man. I hate it. Yeah. I never play online because of that. Because I feel like when I play online, I play like a scrub because I'm just guessing. I'm not actually reacting to anything.
Doing shit. It's so stupid. I hate it so much.
And then when I play offline, I play players that I can tell that they mainly play online, and I'm just I'm like, I don't blame you, man. Because in my head, I'm like, I don't blame you, other guy. Because look here, other guy, you just don't know. Because the guy online couldn't stop you because it's just the way it is. But I'm going to stop you. So now you know. But until you had played me, there's no way you would have known that your JC with Darly Dagger was unstoppable. Like you didn't, there's no way you didn't know that was unstoppable because everyone online can't stop you.
There's a lot of guys that play online quite a lot and are really good at like divorcing the online play from their offline play, right? You got guys like DDMO who plays online a lot. Guys like Andy OCR plays online a lot. Jacko RCB plays online a lot. Scrub Cybot. All those guys are very, very strong players. And it shows in their offline results, regardless of the fact that they play online quite a bit. And there's certain things that you can get away with and do in online that you won't get punished for that heavily offline.
Yeah, they're definitely good players. But I think the issue here is that they were good before they played. Like they were probably solid before they played. Like they didn't build their fundamentals like in knowledge online. They just knew already offline like what works and what doesn't work. And a lot of newer players that are new to the game and they're like newer to fighting games possibly, they don't know the difference. That's where the weakness is. Like,
the newer players, they're operating more on like muscle memory, right? And they're just doing whatever works online, offline, and it doesn't really work like that. So they'll come around.
Yeah, for sure. Like just take Jimmy Bones. Like you think that guy doesn't know like how offline's supposed to work? Obviously he knows, so he's just gonna adapt to it. But like if I meet I don't know, I went to KI Kumite and I met a lot of people who just play online. They really just didn't know like what was good and what actually worked. So I had to explain it to them. But that's just they're not in the environment to know right from wrong. And not to say the way they're playing is wrong. It's just obviously there's so much stuff online you can do that is obvious. Like I mean, this is just my case. I saw Goro play that one guy, the Hamaru, and dude, he missed the punish on Hamaru's DP. And
and he got deflected. I saw that.
Deflected for it, and in my head, I'm like, I know for a fact that wasn't.
He would never.
Yeah, never, dude. I couldn't sneeze with that guy fucking botaning me from full screen.
Exactly. Yeah. No, the guy's a fucking solid player, but like online, obviously, impacts people differently, and it's unstable is the thing. If it were consistent, then it wouldn't be so fucking volatile, obviously. But like, since it's not, you get all these crazy results sometimes. Whenever you play people online,
it truly is because it's unstable. Because I used to play online with the late net code all the time, and if it was stable enough, I would just adjust to it and know what I couldn't do. But I have this problem with this. I don't know if Seven's just particularly terrible at it, but Seven it seems to like fluctuate a lot, and sometimes I feel like I'm on 4 frame, and the next thing I know, there's no indicator. But I can feel like, hey, this is probably like 4 frame, and then like the next thing I know, this shit feels like 12 frame delay, and I'm missing like punishes on like jump on like.
Bro, just hearing those numbers, those number of frames, it makes me fucking cringe, man. That shit, like, that's my nightmare.
It's so bad. But I mean,
so that's another thing I've been focusing on a lot is ever since I kind of like became like a bit more well known, I've been like trying really hard to like fucking make sure everybody knows how shitty delayed netcode is. And I know other guys out there like Sajam and stuff, they've also been doing Sajam, Keats, all those guys, they've been doing the same thing, and I've just been trying to add my voice to like the fucking the riot, I guess.
You just have to make sure that
everybody needs to know.
Do it because you don't want the naysayers to like mislead people in the wrong direction.
And they fucking do, and that shit to this day they still are out there spreading misinformation, saying some whack shit like, oh, it works fine for me, you guys just must have shitty internet. Like, no, motherfucker, it doesn't work like that, you stupid fucking idiot.
I hate it.
I just want to like ring them.
It's really hard to not just drag them like online.
I just want to fucking like choke them like through the internet. I want to choke them, be like, what the fuck are you talking about, you stupid idiot?
Yeah, like shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. You're fucking the community up and you don't even know it.
Exactly. They're fucking class traders, man. I said it before. They're fucking class traders and I hate them.
Oh man, I hate it so much. I've never been so frustrated with somebody than literally. It's almost like to me, it's almost like you're trying to do a job. And then they're like the guys. So you're talking to your boss, right? And your job requires like a screwdriver. And then you're like, hey man, to do this, we have to have a screwdriver, man. This shit just ain't gonna work. And then the other guy's like, no, this knife has been fine this whole time. And
dude, exactly.
like, shut the fuck up, man. Why would you say that? Like, you know that I understand the knife works for you, but don't you want a fucking screwdriver? Like, come on. Oh, and
then your boss like listens to the stupid idiot and like, I don't think we need a screwdriver. I'm not gonna waste money on it, you know?
Yeah, like why would we waste money on this guy? Because obviously you say it's fine, and you've been around for so long. You've been doing just fine with the fucking knife, and then everyone's just like, dude, come on, man. Like it's 2020. Give me the fucking screwdriver.
But it's pretty frustrating. But I think we're making progress, and you know, I don't want to get my hopes up because I've been burned so many times, but KOF 15, man, it's right around the corner, and
boy,
you don't know much about it.
You're jinxing yourself.
I know, man. I'm just with the game's gonna come out, it's gonna be delayed, and I'm gonna be so fucking pissed again. I'm gonna cry.
I mean, well, here's the thing. I believe Crispy has at least said something to somebody at somewhere, right? Because I feel like
he definitely has.
Crispy has been a very communicative like community manager, but he's just a community manager. He can't really do anything outside of just tell them that what we said, we want delayed net, we want rollback netcode.
Yeah.
And
so it's a thing about like these companies, like it's about having the right people in the right places to make these decisions. And I'm not so sure if these Japanese companies have forward-thinking individuals in the positions of power. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And then if some old dude in the company is just like, well, why would we do that? Then that's just the way it goes, because obviously they're just important. Because really, I had a conversation with one of my fellow Sam showers here in Georgia. His name is y'all probably haven't seen him, but he posts tech every now and then. It's Mr. Annual. We were talking. He posts cool stuff all the time, just little one-off texts, and we were talking about it, and his big like he just said, look, is the difference between the Western development and Japan development is probably because of the fact there's no arcade scene in the West, that they build these games with online in mind, and then in Japan or in Asia, they still make fighting games like, okay, this is an arcade game, so they make a bare bones arcade game, and then they just port that shit with whatever.
Yeah. See, I used to think that too, right? But then I went over there and I tried out the fucking arcade versions of all these different games, and they're fucking garbage still. Like, the fucking connections are not good. Even with Japanese internet, that shit is not fucking good. So these motherfuckers, they definitely know that the shit is not good. Like, if they've got to have played it, right? And like, it doesn't even matter how bad you are at fighting games. You can feel that shit, and any idiot with half a brain can tell, like, a game, like a fighting game, where like split-second reactions are so fucking important. Any amount of delay, any amount of instability is not good at all. Like, these guys, they know it because they spent so much time and effort trying to make Sam Show 60 frames per second for the Nintendo Switch version, which, by the way, they fucking failed at that.
It's like, what is like 59.6 or some shit? Like,
dude, it fluctuates like crazy, dude. But like, I don't know, like, these idiots, they have to understand that it's not acceptable, but for some reason they keep shoveling the fucking shit down our throats, and I'm so fucking fed up.
Honestly, they're lucky that they're like, I feel like if these characters exist in a time where creativity was like booming, so they made Samurai Shodown and all their SNK characters back in like the 90s or whatever, right? So like, they were like, whatever, like, these are amazing characters and these are all interesting. If they didn't have all these interesting ass characters in these interesting fighting games, they would have drowned. There's no way. They already went bankrupt so many times. Like, they have not gotten with the times at all. Like, it's fucked up. It is what it is. It's crazy. What it is.
Okay, so back in the day, these guys were pretty innovative, right? They did all sorts of crazy cool stuff that no other game company was really doing at the time, and they're still trying all sorts of cool, like, weird shit, off the wall stuff. But like, none of it matters anymore. Like, the market has evolved, and they aren't really evolving to meet those demands, which is kind of a bummer. I hope in, for 15 they get their shit together. They're doing a good thing by adding rollback retroactively to these older games, but really what's important is making the new games acceptable for Western, or not even just Western, anybody. Any
place on the earth will benefit from this.
Yeah, so I mean, that's really important. That's how you get new players to play your games. I don't know, like, if you've stuck around the SNK scene as long as I have, which in the grand scheme of things, of course, isn't very long, but I've been around enough to see that we don't get very many new players. It's a shame. Sam Show 7 has been like a welcome exception to this, with like all sorts of different players coming in from different games.
It's been a miracle for me locally, because honestly, I've always watched the SNK scene here locally rise and fall real fast.
Yeah, man.
7 existing here is nothing short of like elbow grease.
Dude, for me. I'm really happy for you guys' scene. Like, you guys have like a really healthy scene. I think probably the biggest and healthiest scene in the United States. I know Xanadu has like a large consistent scene as well. So shout outs to the DMV boys. I see Vato in chat. Gugino or Gugino, I don't know what the fuck how you pronounce that shit. But you guys have a good scene too. But shout outs to you guys. keep that shit up.
Honestly, I was surprised when Andy told me their numbers too. It put in perspective how lucky I am to have what we have. We have plenty of players.
Yeah, man.
And then we have like, honestly, I don't want to like, I'm not tooting like our horn or anything, but like we have 4 players that are all very strong.
Yeah,
like,
dude, I've played most of you guys. Like, I know.
Like we got me, Terrence,
Bates.
We got fucking, y'all don't know about Neil. That guy is pretty good too.
No, I don't know this Neil character. I played those 3, and all 3 of you guys have been very impressive players. So good shit.
Neil is really good, but he's a weird one-off in a way that, like, remember how you said like it's really hard because like newer people just don't stick to SNK. Yeah. Well, he's really strange in the sense that he's 18-year-old playing SNK games.
Oh, that's good. We need young blood in SNK.
I told him that. I'm like, don't you fucking go anywhere.
Yeah. Make sure you fucking like sink your claws deep into that one, because we need young players to play this shit. And we need like another generation of players to really flourish in this.
No, he fucking loves it. What's funny is that the way he actually came to it was because after I went to one of our locals on the north side of Atlanta, I had played Nexonitis with Earthquake and I beat him, but it was like the wackest grand finals ever. So after that point, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna pick Hamaru because everyone was mocking us because they were like, the game looks whacked, all you guys do is just jump around. I'm like, damn it, this is one matchup, this looks like trash. So I picked up Hamaru because I knew that he is exciting to watch.
Yeah, he's an explosive character.
Yeah, so I'm like, this is gonna be dope. I'm gonna make Hamaru just at least for a month or two just to see while the game's fresh to get people to play. And it worked because when I went to the south side, I went to Macon, which is like our other big city here in Georgia, and he's from Macon, and he said, and I didn't know this till before, but he went to the locals there, and he would just play Third Strike on the side, or Dragon Ball or whatever, whatever he would play with whatever. And I went there with Bates to introduce Samurai Shodown.
Is that the one where everybody was going fucking crazy in the background?
Yeah, that's exactly that one.
And
so
yeah.
He saw.
Well, you guys are pressing heavy over and over and over again. I saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah, we were hitting each other with heavy like crazy.
Yeah, and everybody was going crazy. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, we did. That was part of my plan. And after that tournament, he told me that he saw us play and he was convinced he wanted to play the game. And
all right, good shit.
So it worked out. So like, just little things. You'd be surprised, like little things here and there, what kind of stuff would make people stick around.
Yeah, it's definitely the little things that get people interested in the game. Like, because if like the shit that makes me want to play a game is doing cool shit, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
you can do cool shit in 7. It's maybe not quite as flashy, but like the decision making is.
Yeah, that exactly. Yeah. The hard call outs, the decision making, that's what the cool shit is.
Absolutely.
And 5 special, I feel like you can just cheat a motherfucker sometimes because like you have all this crazy cool tech that like unblockable scenarios and shit like that. That's cool in that game.
Sometimes
I like watching the what's it called when Sogetsu puts the bubble behind him. And then he rage explodes.
The unblockable.
That looks cool. There's a lot of cool stuff like that. There's a lot of nuance in 5 special where like...
Dude, yeah, there's a lot of tech. It's pretty neat. It's a neat game, but it's very fair. Any character can win, which is really cool.
Yeah, I like it. I think like Sam Show, like 7 and that game, it appeals to me because the back and forth in both the games, like their back and forth is different between both of them, but they're balanced enough to where you can see interesting interactions between the characters.
And like the pacing in Sam Show games is very different from what most other games have. It's like very tense. People don't want to move when it's like an even match because like defending is so much stronger than well, I don't know if I could say that in 7 because offense is pretty strong in 7, but for the most part, defense is pretty strong. So it's you don't want to like do anything crazy,
Yeah, I mean defense is strong too, and like you said, defense is stronger too in 7. And if you're predictable, you lose instantly. That's where the tension comes from. I mean, obviously throw is super strong, but equally you die if they know they're gonna throw.
Yeah.
So that's like the tension in 5 special is different.
Yeah,
but 7,
and I think that's a big draw to our game is the fact that the pacing is so different from other stuff on the market.
I like the explosiveness of how slow it is, and
then yeah, all of a sudden it's a fucking burst of activity.
Yeah, it's just like boom, like there's something happening, and it's easy for people to see it because the damage is so big.
Yeah,
the reaction is always the same to me when I watch 5 Special or that game. Dude, when I watch 5 Special and I see like how Mario land heavy, I'm like, oh fuck,
bro, that shit. Yeah, you feel that shit. He puts his entire fucking back into it, and the shit goes like across the fucking screen onto the next setup. Even it goes so fucking far. It's crazy.
Not only does it go far, it's really fast in that game too.
Fast, yeah, so much faster in 5. It's a pretty fun button to press. Not quite as fun in 7 to press, which you could say about most of the buttons in 7. Which is
obviously they can't be that fast because the movement in that game is not. Well, it can't be the movement. We don't have hops. Hop movement is like
no hops. And,
we're too slow comparatively.
Yeah, the game in general, 5SP is pretty fast. Like the recoils last shorter, block stun is shorter, attacks come out pretty fast, stuff like that.
Throws.
And I like the pacing of it.
The hop is fast. I mean, everything about that game is really fast. The only thing I like everything about 5 Special. The only thing I don't like is the input for deflect. And
oh really? I really like it. It really feels like you're doing a deflect, you know, because you're going. It's like a defensive motion at first, right? Because you're going from down to down back, and then at the last second you go forward to deflect, which is an offensive motion. I think like that's pretty cool.
Obviously, if they were going for like authenticity of like how it should be, like as an input to feeling, it's pretty good. I just hate it because it's such an awkward input for me.
Yeah, it's an awkward input for sure. You can just do quarter circle back and then forward. That's a lot of people do that.
I try, like the only reason I prefer so like the only reason I like the other input more is because I can walk into it instead of going back then forward.
No, so that's another thing. You can actually buffer deflect while you're walking forward. So you like walk forward a little bit and then buffer the down back, and then walk forward again, buffer down back, and then like as you're walking forward, if you see them twitch or whatever, you just press D because you're already walking forward. So that's the input for the forward, and then the deflect comes out. It's pretty cool.
I didn't realize it would hold the input for that long.
Yeah, no, the buffer window is pretty long in that game.
I had no idea. I would assume that obviously it's an older game, right? So like a lot of older games have tighter windows for a lot of the shit they do. So I just assumed that the window for that shit was tight.
Yeah, mess around with it.
I have to play it. Like I said, I haven't played outside of like the last time I played is when you fucking bodied me.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's not like I'm quitting because Aroo beat me. It was just more like, well, fuck, this is gonna take time, so let me just not put time in for now. But yeah, I'll get back to that shit for sure. I mean, obviously, cool, I'm like super over playing online in 7. So
yeah, you're telling, bro. Like I was over it like after month 1. I'd even in month 1. Okay, so if you look at my account, I probably have like 30-ish ranked games, and there's no way to count player matches, but maybe like 100 player matches or something. I really don't play online very much.
I don't either. I mean, if you look at my account, I'm like green belt or some shit.
Oh yeah, dude, me too. It's pretty funny. I see all these dudes like stressing about their rank, and I'm just like, whatever.
But yeah, for sure, we'll play some 5 Special. This is a dope game, and obviously it deserves more time. It just never 5 Special just came out in a very in the wrong time, I guess, because there was no we didn't have social media. Yeah. Obviously, 5 Special like roll back. You honestly, your timing is also good because that shit had trash netcode until you started playing it. Like, you got the rollback right when you started getting interested.
Yeah,
in it.
A little bit after I started. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a really nice surprise for me.
So it was either you play Fightcade or nothing because you couldn't play the other version.
Well, there was also this secret underground Chinese Fightcade called X Zone that I was playing on as well, which was pretty good. But it was delay based, but the emulation was a lot better than Fightcade. So for like closer connections, for good connections, it was actually preferable to Fightcade.
I had like a super underground I had like a super underground Korean emulator for like Third Strike back in the day. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's almost like sometimes you just get better emulation out of the countries that still actually play the game because they really care. So they really make sure that shit works.
Hell yeah.
But that shit was pretty nice. But yeah, for sure, 5 Special. Oh, so I wanted to ask you, with going forward with 7, are you just going to stick with Yoshitora?
Yeah. I mean, I think even if they were to nerf him again, I think I would probably stick with him, just because I don't think that I would put much more time into like practicing and picking up a new character. I'm at a point with Yoshitora where I'm like, I'm probably one of the better Yoshitora players. Me up there with Goro, Senaru in Japan, and those are like the ones that are like that stand out the most to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty cool, being like one of like the known players for my character. I think the character's just sick. I like the way he plays. I like having characters with a lot of options, and Yoshitora definitely has a fuck ton of options. And he has a really good DP, especially for the way I like to use DPs, where like I use them really disrespectfully, and I think that that's really fun.
It helps that shit hurts.
Yeah,
when you land, that shit hurts.
Absolutely.
I feel you though, because like I kind of don't want to play Tam Tam because I want to win like more consistently. Sure. I know I can do it as Tam Tam.
Yeah, dude, you're pretty consistent with Tam Tam even.
It just takes a lot of work.
It does. You're right.
And the problem is that like when there's so many times when I went to watch my footage, there's just so many times where I would have won if Tam Tam's SSM was fucking like good. So,
yeah, like, but like you can't really think of it like that though, because like you're also think of all the times that you're getting damage in situations where other characters wouldn't be able to get damage.
Well, that's the problem is that like I can't, because like the characters I lose to are like Jubei and like fucking Ukyo, and they get damage in the exact same moments that I do. So it's like, yeah. So to me, it's like, damn, what am I like keeping Tam for outside of the aesthetic? Which I love Tam Tam. The only, the biggest reason I don't want to switch from Tam Tam is because I do like being like notable for my character.
Yeah, totally. I totally understand.
I've like developed my character's meta like a lot, and if I switch to Ukyo, I really, unless I'm like the best Ukyo, I'm just gonna be like,
just join the fucking sea of Ukyo players. All those fucking motherfuckers getting carried by that stupid ass character with that 3K and the fucking Suba. He's so good.
He's too good, and honestly, like his design, if I just play him the way I play Tam Tam, it's the same idea, but the difference is that Ukyo just in the output is much safer and devastating. So it's like, fuck. Yeah. It's like, damn. And also Ukyo has like a good anti-air that's consistent, and then he also has an SSM that's good as fuck.
Well, I think Tam Tam's anti-air game is pretty consistent too, but like the thing is he has to think a lot more than Ukyo does.
Yeah, like
you have to pick the right option.
Or
Yoshitora has the same option.
If I didn't have to think about like honestly, Tam Tam's anti-airs are pretty good. The problem is you characters like yours that have like multiple jumping options or like ranges. It becomes a guessing game, and sometimes the guessing game is devastating. And I just hate. Well, yeah. I rather just Tsubame Gaishi just win every time.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
Or just DP. Honestly, when I was playing Haomaru, I felt spoiled because honestly, that DP just won.
Yeah, everything. It's so good. Yeah,
it's super good. But I might end up playing Tam Tam still. It really depends on how much I like.
I really think you should stick with him because I think you're good enough to make it work. You and Scrub Saibot are like the only Tam Tam players that are notable in my.
I think he really. I after watching Scrub, he's over. I think he's done. I don't.
Scrub Saibot's done.
I think he's just not gonna play him.
That's too bad.
He still plays him, but I feel like if he finds enough time to play someone else, I think he will.
Yeah.
Just the way he talks about like Tam Tam, and like he's just like, I feel like he's ready to like pick someone that's better, which I don't blame him because he's a good player.
Dude, you motherfuckers complain about Tam Tam. That's I don't know. Like I think he's got what he needs to win, and like you guys have proven it. You guys have placed very well in very stacked tournaments.
No, he can win. It's just, you know what it is that like you really here's Tam Tam's problem, that I feel like you just don't get to play the same game.
You don't need to play the same game as long as the game that you're playing is winning, and it is.
The way the Tam Tam problem is that you win. He's a win more character. Like you have to start off winning. It's
Okay,
stay
but that's
winning.
most characters in this game, though.
Well,
Like-
he can't come. It's really hard to come from behind.
Yeah, I understand.
That's why it's fucked up because like
Charlotte's the same way, you know.
Charlotte's
Like
same
probably
way.
Nakaru's the same way.
Charlotte,
Yashimaru's the same way. Earthquake's the same way. Kyoshiro's the same way.
yeah, for sure.
So-
The difference is though in Charlotte and like, well, the difference between Charlotte and this guy is that she can just bulldog you sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. It's
and,
matchup
like,
dependent.
Yeah, it's matchup dependent, and so like there's a lot of matchups with Tam Tam. If the other player really knows the matchup, man, just you can never like.
Yeah.
You know what it really is? It's almost like you can never just like let loose. You always have to play correct. If you fucking like, if you so much as jump incorrectly once, or like even think about just being a scrub and like up backing, you just like throw shit away so fast. And like when you play like,
I understand.
when you play Charlotte, you can hold up. And then it's on the other guy to like stop you. And if the other guy, there's not very much on Tam Tam outside of like degenerate pokes from full screen that puts it on the other player to like he has to check me on this because like
okay, I want you to shut the fuck up right now because I play the character with no pokes, like zero fucking pokes, man. So
no, I agree.
Fuck you. Don't complain about your pokes.
No, I'm not complaining about my pokes. I'm complaining about a lack of like being.
No, I feel you. I understand what you're saying though.
Yeah, like my pokes are godlike. They're obviously the best. They're like to me, he has the best pokes in the game. The only problem is
I think he's not a very well-rounded character. That's what you're saying, and I agree. And you do have to play perfectly, which is a detriment in a game like this where Shizamaru can let go of a button and fucking evaporate your life bar.
Or if you get thrown once and then like Jubei or whoever like mediums into whatever and you're dead.
Yeah.
Or the life deficit is gone. That's just rough. But he's not bad. I obviously will never say Tam Tam's bad. It's just that his issue is that it's obviously he
demands a lot from the player.
Yeah, he demands a lot, and then like the payoff is never. You don't get like a moment of aha in the middle of the round where you just make the comeback happen. Because I can't parry into SSM unless they're full screen. I can't dodge into SSM, so like I don't get the moment of like I'm coming back now. It's more like I have to chip. I have to spend the next 40 fucking Sam Show seconds chipping at you, and hopefully it's enough to open your ass up. And obviously, the other characters, your character has the opposite problem. You can't do that, but you have. But in return, you have those moments where every now and then you will land jump heavy in like end someone's fucking life. But then you have the opposite problem where you can't play solid for too long because you don't get shit out of it half the time.
Yeah, you really get no reward. Well, very very small reward for playing reactively, and you really have to like take matters into your own hands and put yourself at risk in a lot of places, which is really tough in matchups like your character, or like those characters with like good DPs like Haomaru and stuff and Shizamaru. It's tough sometimes to get in and open people up. So it's like it's two sides of the same coin. Basically.
Yeah, your character to me, Yoshitora is just the opposite of my character.
Yeah,
it's like in exchange for no options on like at neutral, you get to be like you get like a ridiculous jump attack. But then on the other side, I feel like I also struggle against the same character like Haomaru and shit. Characters that can just play solid and are well rounded, they give me a problem because they can just fall back on other shit.
Yeah, true.
So like, I feel like like they have those like stat bars. I feel like our characters are the stat bars where they're like maxed out in one and then like
and really low on everything else.
Yeah, I feel like that's what our characters are, which is cool because I like polarizing characters because they.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's cool. It's interesting game design to be sure. I think both of us we should look into picking pocket characters for our problem matchups, but I don't know how much you're willing to put into learning another character. I'm probably not going to do it as much as I've been saying I should.
Well, the reality is that this game, you can really just really get good at a matchup, and then you can make it look feasible.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, honestly, Goro, I thought that shit was free. Like, when I play Goro versus, like, when I play Yoshitora, I thought that shit was free for, like, Tam Tam. Because after I played, not Alpha Letter Soup, but I played...
Oh, Peterix.
Peterix, yeah. I remember it was something weird with X at the end of it. But, like, I played Peterix, I was like, you know, this matchup is like, I feel bad for Yoshitora because they have to just guess all the time. But I like in my gut, I'm like I'm guessing on the anti-air. But I feel like if they're a smart player, then the matchup feels more winnable for Yoshitora because then they can just outplay.
Yeah, it's definitely doable.
I thought it was free though. I thought it was free, but I'm being a bitch. But then when I play Goro, I was like, okay, maybe I was a little correct. Where he's making me guess, and I really have to guess right. Like he baby guess every 4 seconds. The shit was so obnoxious.
Yeah, Goro's an exceptional player for sure.
I mean, honestly, but but like you said, he had to be exceptional. Like he had to whiff punish.
Yeah, exactly.
My 5B with fucking Bolton.
Yeah, dude, I know.
That shit is not easy. Like
No.
I don't like I will never like be like, hey, why don't you whip punish my 5B with Bolton? Like that, I didn't even know that was a possibility until that fucking guy showed up. But yeah, for sure. Like I don't know. I don't remember what I was getting on the tangent for. I just like that the characters exist in this game because you have a lot of interesting matchups because of how polarizing these character designs are.
For sure.
And then you have the ones that have everything.
Yeah.
But you know, we'll see how SNK handles, you know, those.
Yeah, season 2's coming up soon. You know, we got Mina coming down the pipe. We got Sogetsu, who's going to be pretty cool. Iroha.
Yeah, Roha.
Mystery fourth character.
Mystery Ganan. Hopefully, or some shit.
I heard some things, but I'm not going to say.
No, don't spill the beans. I don't want you like giving up your SNK clout.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get canceled by SNK.
But I think I got everything. I don't know if you wanted to add anything. I just really wanted to see what your origins were, what you were gonna do now after Lunar Bout. Honestly, Lunar Bout to me was like the most fun I ever had.
Dude, yeah, it's such a fun event. Please, all of you guys watching, if you guys were not able to make it to this year's Lunar Bout, please consider budgeting for next year because it is such a good event. If you like SNK games, not just Sam Show 7, but any of them, please show up. We get a lot of we got a lot of talent here. A lot of people coming from all over the place to show up and play. A lot of different games are represented, and the vibe is I don't know. I think it's like it feels like a family reunion to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so like I've never met y'all before, but honestly, the best way I could put it, you know, this is how I felt about Kumite in Tennessee. So after a while, a lot of tournaments I went to, they're like trying their best to like esport it up, but like going to Lunar Bout and Kumite, it was really like just meeting up with friends and playing a video game I like, and then it was just hype. That's all I could ever ask for is just playing a game I like with friends and having a hype time. So it was exactly what I wanted. Like Lunar Bout was meeting up with friends, hanging out, enjoying y'all's company,
drinking.
I didn't drink, but it was fun watching y'all drink. Man,
that's the thing.
I'm like, where are these Modelo's coming from?
Yeah, man. We'll hook you guys up. Come through. I'll buy another few cases for you guys next.
I missed a big opportunity because I didn't get enough time to practice 98. But I think next time I'll go, I think, you know, obviously there's another one next year. I'll make sure to be practiced up in 5 special, so at least y'all have more competition.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Because I don't know if a 5 special for y'all was just like business as usual at Lunar Bout, but I want to see if I can shake things up a little bit and maybe.
That'd be sick. There was a lot of upsets I think that happened at Lunar Bout for 5SP. So, you know, having you in the bracket would also shake things up a lot. I'm sure. Player of your caliber.
I have to play you though. I'm gonna have to make you my training partner because I need somebody who's in the know to like. Because I like playing better players. Because it's the quickest way to find out what fucking doesn't work. Because obviously, if I do some shit and you know the game well enough, you're probably gonna stop me. You're like, no, don't do that. Because if you're gonna punish me, I just need someone who can punish me for all the dumb shit I do, and then I'll realize what's real, and then I can get better real fast. So we'll play some more, probably not this month because Grand Blue's out, and I need to like, you know, obviously final round. They somehow. Somehow got the fucking arcs of shit So I'm gonna play that first, and then after this month, I'll
man, do your thing.
play 5 special, and we'll hammer that
Cool.
shit out because I like it. It's a really cool looking game. I bought it. I do still mess around with it every now and then, but I don't play anyone online because I just haven't had time to. I haven't found anyone just to sit down and be like, okay, let's do a first of 20 and let's figure out what this game's about. You know, that's why.
Sure thing, man. And the same thing goes to everybody in chat or everybody whoever's watching this video. If you guys want to play 5 special, hit me up on Twitter, Discord, whatever. I'm almost always willing to play if I'm available. So yeah, just let me know.
But all right, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I think we're gonna close it out now. Do you have anything you want to advertise before I close it out?
I guess okay. So the next tournaments that I'm going to are probably going to be Combo Breakers in May. I'm going to South Louisiana Major. Shout out to those guys. They're flying me out there. So I can't wait to meet up with those guys again. And try out some good Southern cooking. So excited for that.
That's that swamp cooking.
Yeah, the swamp cooking. Hell yeah, the Bayou boys. Fuck it. I'm gonna try out everything there. Get mad drunk. It's gonna be a fun time. So I'm gonna be there. If you guys are in South Louisiana or at South Louisiana Major, stop by, say what's up. I might end up going to the SNK World Championships if that happens. I don't know. It's all up in the air right now because of like the Japan stuff going on, coronavirus and everything.
Yeah, that.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. And Samurai Taisen in Japan, that's going to be in late April, early May. So those are the ones.
Watch that. I'm really interested in seeing you versus all the Japan heads.
Hell yeah.
See what
I'm
they got.
Excited.
I like seeing shit like that because when I watch videos of like Darkstalkers that still come out every now and then, it's crazy seeing like how developed these games can get because they never stop playing.
Tell me about it, man. The Japanese fucking vampire heads are ridiculous. It's crazy how like untouchable they are to some of like our guys here who I see grinding constantly, and I think that they're really fucking good players. And it's like they can't even get games off these Japanese people. It's OD.
I mean, how do you beat someone that can fucking push block in that game every time? Like you know how strong you have to be to push block every time.
Sure, yeah.
And they do it like it's nothing. I saw this one guy that like push blocked the Zabel every time he jumped. And I'm like, no wonder this Zabel looks manageable. He can push block every time.
Yep.
So crazy, man. Those people that like are salarymen that like go to the fucking work and
they play every day. Yeah.
They show up with like a beer, like some fucking, and they show up with their fucking cigarette and they fucking play in the arcade. Man, those guys are the true like final bosses.
Yeah, for sure.
Who was it? Like I saw someone who got top 8, I think, at like Evo Japan, who was in his fucking like business suit. I can't remember who it was. I think it was the Haomaru player that played like crazy.
Yeah. Fuck, I forget his name. But
I forgot his name, but he literally looked like he just came from work. I'm like, damn, those salarymen, they're dangerous.
Yeah, that was the cool thing about Evo Japan was since it was in Tokyo, a lot of people were just commuting there. So a lot of salarymen looking dudes were showing up and playing. So it was pretty interesting.
So crazy. But all right, man, I appreciate you coming by. Maybe we can do another one next time.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me, dude.
All right, see y'all.
Adios.